howdy folks. After a while of people saying, hey, you should do a video tutorial on that look, I decided that today I would start my YouTube channel. So this is my very first video. This is my first time talking to you guys and hanging out and doing some makeup with you. Today's look is inspired by my mom. And so my mom passed away last year from colon cancer, and March also happens to be colorectal cancer awareness month, and their color of their ribbon is this pretty cobalt blue. So I wanted to honor her and make her proud and do a video based on that color scheme. Bored a little bit, but hey, it's makeup, it's fun. So I took this opportunity to do a really bright blue eye. I went through some techniques on how to pull off something like this kind of really smoky blue, dark blue eye. And I really wanted to focus on techniques over specific products. Because I think that when you spend time learning how to do things, then you can make things work that may not have worked without the experience and without kind of like teaching yourself how to do things. Everything I've done, all the looks that I do, all of that is self-taught. Right now is my time to have fun with color and makeup and talk to you guys through the whole process. And so I really hope you enjoy this. Please take the opportunity to subscribe to my channel, but at the same time, the real reason I'm doing it is because I love to play with makeup. I love to try new products, and I really love to share what I know and the things that work for me with other people, so they can try them out and they can find out if it works for them. So I've really enjoyed doing this look. So if you want to see how I got from to this part right here, keep watching and enjoy. Like I said, subscribe, like the video, and also I will link my Instagram down below, so you can check out other looks that I have done in the past. Comment on those looks. Let me know if you want me to do a tutorial on them. To all my friends and family, thank you for encouraging me to do this, and make sure you take care of yourself. Get annual colonoscopies if you're at that age or you have risk factors, and just really, while I'm doing this, I want you to be thoughtful about your family members and the fact that they are going to want you around for a long time. So enjoy the video, and I'll be back at you with another one probably next week. Have a good one. Okay, well, it's time to get started. I said I was going to try and do this, but I'll have to take these guys off to do it. This is all very new to me, and I guess I'm new to you. It's a day of firsts, so many firsts. I got some new things to try out. A lot of people like to start with their face and do their foundation, do concealer, all that great stuff. I actually like to start with my eyes. Oh, and before we get started, part of my thing is if I'm gonna do an awareness inspired look or an inspired look, I really want to go all out. So I even did my nails in this pretty kind of cobalt blue. It's Sinful Colors called Endless Blue. Last thing, these cute little heart earrings. I've had these since I was 6. No, I'm not a pack rat. I just like to save things that are important to me. And these remind me of my mom too. So I'm gonna go ahead, wear these, have on an all blue look. I'm just having fun with it, you know, in honor of colon cancer awareness, which is March. So let's get started. I am not going to really go into detail about specific products because I don't really want to market things to you guys. At the end of the day, I want you to play with different products. I want you to find what works for you, and they either may not sell what I'm talking about in your area, or you know, something you may not like that brand. You may have issues with certain brands. So I'm just gonna give you instructive talk, kind of tell you choose a shade like this or with this kind of finish. I'm gonna get started by priming my face. I don't use a traditional primer because I have very oily skin, so I use an oil mattifier. Several brands sell it, but I mean, obviously you guys know anything skincare related, for me is probably Mary Kay, because I've been selling Mary Kay for 12 years this month. I've been using it for 24 years. I love their skincare. I love their makeup too, don't get me wrong, but I like to play. I like to play around, and I just find that their skincare works really great for me. All right, so I'm going to then also use an eye primer, and I can't see a dadgum thing. I am super blind. So aside from just putting this primer on my eyes, I'll probably grab a small little mirror. One of my powder foundations, the lid of it has a cute little mirror on it, so I typically use that as my mirror. I'm going to continue to do that. Also, I like that it's not big, so it's not going to get in the way of you and me in our chat. I put my primer on my eyes. Whatever primer you like. I do like to use a primer that kind of cancels out a little bit of redness in my eyes. But aside from that, I just kind of, I like something that leaves a slight little bit of tackiness to it, just so that my eyeshadows show up a little more vibrantly. Having said that, the look I'm going for today is not entirely planned. I probably should have done that. But it's not entirely planned. It's going to be inspired by the colorectal cancer awareness ribbon, which is kind of a bright cobalty blue color. Whether I succeed in that is a whole other story, but hey, it's all about intention, right? Also, if you hear little clicking in the background, that's my dog. She loves to watch me do my makeup. She's literally like right down there, standing in one spot, waiting for me. It's almost FOOD time. So she's pretty pumped about that, because I like to line the waterline and the tight line in my eye. And I like to do that first, because for me, what that does is it gives it time to set, so that when you do put your contacts in, you don't get like where the eyeliner distributes and gets onto your contact. Not as bad. And it also depends on which eyeliner, depending on, you know, your particular body chemistry and all that wonderful stuff. So I start by just lining whatever color I'm going to use. Today I'm using a really pretty blue one to go along with the theme. And then next step is I'm going to put a base down on my eye, because I really want these blues to show up. I want them to really pop. Any blue base that you can find, whether that's like a cream shadow or a cream eyeliner that you really like. So you just pick what works for you. I am actually using this NYX Jumbo Pencil. I wasn't going to, but when I went earlier to the store, I saw it, and it is 21 days of beauty at Ulta, which is a weakness for me. So I saw this, and it's called Cobalt. The name of this thing is Cobalt. I could not very well pass that up. So I lay this base down, and then what I do is I take kind of a bigger brush here, and then I'm just gonna kind of blend out the edges of it. I don't want it to look crazy. I don't want it to look super, super harsh, but I do want it to be a color that I can lay down so that whatever I put on top of it will pop. I also am one of those people that I'm all about utilizing your tools, but your tools might be unconventional. So I really like to use these tools. These are, you know, what I use, especially if I want a shadow to show up really vibrantly. I will use my fingers to do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and get started with a bright blue color. I'm going to be layering quite a bit. I like layering. I think it works really great. You get like a lot of dimension, color payoff. And then also the other thing layering does for you in the long run is you can get a better blend, so that you don't have super harsh lines. So if you're the kind of person that's like a one and done eyeshadow kind of gal or dude, or person, then this probably isn't like your cup of tea. Also, I love tea. So I'm just going to lay down this bright blue, play around with different palettes, find different things. You know, obviously I can make recommendations, but that's just kind of not where I'm at this point. I just want to get started. I want to do some fun things with you guys. So obviously I am open to suggestions, or if you guys want to hear more fun stuff about me. I'm boring, very boring. So I used that color. Now it was a matte blue. I found this bright matte blue. I really love this, but it's not exactly what I'm looking for. Like I said, I'm layering things up. I really want to create a look here. So I did grab another bright blue shadow with kind of a shimmer to it, and it is so pretty. I'm just going to go ahead and put it on using my tools. And just don't be afraid to really dig in and play around. Give yourself a little bit of grace, because it's just makeup, and at the end of the day, we're not doing anything permanent here. So play around, enjoy yourself, and you know, it doesn't, whatever colors you decide to put on your face, it doesn't say anything about you other than you like to play around with makeup. So let's see, I got this color. I'm just occasionally grabbing a little bit more on my fingertip, and I really want this to be very intense. I just love an intense look. And you know what's funny about this? That my mom really loved to wear blue eyeshadow. I mean, she really had a thing about it. But in addition to that, she actually really enjoyed wearing like all kinds of shimmer shadows. The woman loved a shimmer shadow. So greens too. If I had a green, she would just call me and say, do you have, you know, any green shadow? I really want a green shadow. So it's hard to find green shadows for people. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is, you know, this is actually, it's really intense and it's not well blended. This is a process. I always tell this, like when I have one-on-one sessions with people, I do sit down with people one-on-one and explain step-by-step what to do, how to make a look. So what I'm doing is I'm going to take a blending shade, a brown. Depending on your look, you could go for a warm brown or cool brown. I am going to go with a cool brown this time. And I'm just going to go into that crease, and I'm going to use this light brown compared to the shade of your skin, light brown. And I'm going to blend that out so that it's much smoother. And that's just like one step that it just makes all the difference in the world. And because you're using a brown instead of another blue, it can kind of keep it a little more tame, and then things don't go nuts. And typically, when I'm doing a normal makeup look, what I'll do is I'll actually use a brown in the crease first. Now, having said that, these instructions, these kind of steps, they may be different for you depending on your eye shape also. All right, that looks a lot better to me. I don't know how it's picking up on camera, but I guess I'll find out. The other thing I really like to do is I'll take like a color that is very similar to my skin tone. So if you are darker than me, which is 98% of the population, then you'll use this lighter shade and just use that even higher up underneath the brow bone. That keeps it looking lighter. I don't know if you can see a difference between the two sides, but using that shade, it keeps everything lighter and it helps further blend that out. You don't want to be shy about this. This is something where you're going to wear it all day, hopefully. If you don't, that's fine too. Let's see. Am I liking this? I'm liking it. But I think I can add a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to find a fun brush. Here we go. This one's Mary Kay brush, actually. And I'm going to find a deeper blue. There we go. This deeper blue. I like it. And I'm going to go ahead and go into the outer crease here, in this outer corner, and then into the crease, just to give a little extra oomph out here. I don't need to look crazy. Okay. The other great thing about doing a look like this is if you don't want to, if you're kind of makes you nervous, you don't have to do an eyeliner with it either. It's kind of nice. Also, I apologize for clearing my throat and those kind of things. I've actually been kind of sick, and I mean, I'm better now. Let's be honest, I'm better now. And if you heard me last week, you know for a fact that I'm a lot better. All right, so I put that in that crease, and now it's starting to look a little bit patchy again. So I'm going to go back in with a mixture of those two shades, that light brown and that skin tone. I'm going to mix the two so that it creates a better blend, and then I'm going to go in there and make this a little bit smoother. And I guess my camera stopped recording. I don't know when it stopped recording. This is super convenient for my first video. Okay, so we look really nice and blended here. I think it looks nice and blended. And don't neglect blending out this inner corner. I am not going to put eyeliner with this. I could. You could do a nice wing with it. You could even use a blue shadow, look really pretty. And we're not done with the eyeshadow just yet. And I have a new eyebrow pencil. I said it was 21 Days of Beauty at Ulta. And so I have a hard time finding eyebrow pencils because my brows, when I'm not tinting them, which I am tinting them, they're white. They completely lack pigment. And so I have a hard time finding pencils that are a good match for me. But I also do my eyebrows a little differently than some people do. I like to start with the tail of my brow and define the tail of my brow. Also naturally, like when you see people with naturally full brows, typically the end, these brow hairs somehow look a little bit darker, and then through here in the front, they don't look as dark. So I do like to define the under edge of my brow here. I even extend my brow just a little bit in the middle because, hey, I'm a little sparse here in the middle. And then just lightly across the top. So you see, I didn't even put anything in here, but I'm gonna brush it through so it will actually look pretty good. I like to get these ones that have the spoolie included. I just think it's so much more convenient. And then, you know, I brush this through, it distributes the product, and then sometimes you have to go back through and fill in any gaps that you missed. I'm gonna call this good. I'm gonna call it good, guys. Okay, so now this is the point when I'm gonna apply one coat of mascara on my top lashes. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Use your favorite mascara. I am not gonna put false lashes on. I don't wear false lashes often. I don't really enjoy them, but I will do it for special occasions. I'm gonna do my best not to make stupid mascara face, but hey, if I do, then my mascara is gonna look fabulous. So one thing that I like to do is with my mascara, I have a method of applying it that I think works really nicely in order to separate the lashes and keep them separated. Hey, that's kind of a song. All right, so I like to wiggle the wand back and forth, and then I twist the wand into my lashes. Because then it goes through several sets of the bristles, and as it goes through those several sets of bristles, it keeps them separated and it keeps them from getting super clumpy. So I've got that one coat of mascara on. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start with my foundation. I am very fair and I have a really kind of interesting undertone to my skin. A lot of times I really like to shake up my foundation. Some are made to do that, some are not. And I mix mine. Don't be afraid to mix your foundations. Sometimes things just don't match and you have to make it work. And it doesn't matter what brand it is. It could be something that's $5 from the drugstore. It could be something that's $60. So I mix these two, and really I just like to mix them on the back of my hand. Like I said, use the tools that you've been given. And then I will just dot my foundation on different areas of my skin. And then I have this cool trick, because I have a bunch left over, where I just kind of roll my hand there. And then grab whatever is excess with my sponge. And I love using beauty sponges. Absolutely love using beauty sponges because I just think that they give a nice look to your skin. You don't have to always wear super full coverage foundation. but it also makes it easier to kind of layer stuff up. So I also am a big proponent of making sure you blend your foundation down your neck. You never want to have that kind of line of demarcation right there at your jawline. So just make sure you blend it. Even if it's a perfect match, things can happen with foundation like oxidizing and all that great stuff. So we have our basic foundation on. I like it. I think it looks good. I use foundations that are made for oily skin, that are more mattifying. I prefer that look. And then I also use an under eye corrector before I put on concealer. So an under eye corrector, for those that are unfamiliar, if you have kind of blue or purpley toned under eye circles, you might want to look into this. It is very simple and easy. You just put a little bit down there, and then you will use whatever your preference is as far as tools. Sometimes I'll use a pointy end of a sponge, sometimes I'll use a smaller brush, but then I work that into that area, and it kind of creates, it's not going to look natural just yet. Well, actually, let's just be honest, this whole look doesn't look natural. If your eyelids are this blue, see a doctor. Well, I should say if your eyelids are this blue without makeup, see a doctor. So I blend that in, and it kind of cancels out that under eye circle. And then I really like to brighten my under eyes with a concealer. So whatever concealer is your preference, go with it. Again, I like one that kind of sets down a little bit on its own. And I'm going to switch to using a beauty blender, not a beauty blender. This is not $20. I'm going to switch to using a blending sponge for the concealer, because then I can really get into that inner corner and blend it out. And I like to blend mine out to this outer corner here too. Okay, and then because I tend to use quite a bit of concealer, I do still like to go pretty natural with this. I take whatever's left over and I put it kind of down my nose and a little bit on right above my lip. I'm going to take some translucent powder, and I have a different blending sponge, because how many blending sponges can you have? And then I take like a large amount on my blending sponge, and I just kind of set it under my eye before my concealer has a chance to crease. If you set this with creases, the creases will stay. So I just put a little bit. I put an absurd amount of translucent powder underneath my eyes. Okay, and I just let it sit there. It's just hanging out. And this will help my concealer to stay. And then I like to take a super big fluffy brush with some powder foundation to set, especially this cheek area, because I'm going to be adding to that. And what I'm going to be adding there is I'm going to add some contour powder and some blush and some highlight. And I really, really want to give it a nice smooth base, because I really do not want any kind of patchiness going on. And then at the end, I am going to use a makeup setting spray, and it's going to make everything look a little less powdery. Not that it looks, I mean, I don't think it looks terribly powdery right now, but I just like the way it looks. All right, so we're going to keep letting this set under the eyes. It's going to be there for a little while. And then while I'm doing that, I'm going to grab some of my contour powder. I'm using a new one. It's a new Mary Kay one. And I'm going to use, I have an angled brush. Use whatever brush you want. You could very easily use a brush like this. You could very easily, I swear eventually my camera will stop not recording. Okay, so where are we at right now? I've been baking under my eyes. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a fluffy brush and I'm going to take that bake off. Whatever translucent powder, or if you have a specific baking powder, not baking powder, a cosmetic powder that's intended for baking, then you can use that. All right, so that looks nice. I am going to go ahead, I am going to use a small brush, and I'm going to put some of the blue underneath my eyes as well. I really want to showcase this blue quite a bit. underneath my eyes. And if I squint at the camera, I apologize. I'm just trying to make sure that, hey, it's still recording. Actually, you know what? Not that brush. I want a different brush. Ah, found the brush I want. And then I'm going to use that same really pretty bright blue shadow that I used on the lid. All right, so I'm going to just kind of put this right underneath on the bottom. All right, so I'm going to take a little tiny brush and I'm going to find a really pretty kind of shimmery shadow, and then I'm going to go in the inner corner and make that really nice and bright and shimmery. I want it to be really reflective. I don't want anything to just like stand out in a bad way. All right, so we've got our eyes, we've got our contour and our cheeks. Now I really want to do a fun highlighter. So I love highlighter. I think it's so much fun. It's so pretty. I do like to use kind of a smaller brush for that. And then I grab whatever highlight I am going to play with, which is going to be kind of a newer one that I got in one of my subscription boxes. And then yesterday I posted on Instagram about how I like to really buff my highlighter in. So I get my highlighter in, I apply it, and then I just really kind of buff on it, because I find that with good highlighters, the more that you do that, it just kind of creates this really nice shine on your cheekbone, and it gets attention in a good way. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. So if I just apply it, it's on there and it's nice, but when I buff it in, it just kind of gives it a wet look. Not sweaty. But I enjoy it quite a bit. Okay. There we go. And then whatever's left over on my brush, I just tend to put it right here on the bridge of my nose. A little bit on here. Cool. Looks nice. Okay. All right, so far so good. I'm going to grab that blue mascara. I'm going to do the bottom lashes. Say a small prayer that this works. Okay. Ooh, fun. I'm going to try and hold this mirror a little bit further away so that you guys can actually see what I'm doing here. Okay. There. Okay, still recording. All right, we're almost done. I am going to apply some lipstick. I found a really cool lipstick. Where did I put it? Oh my goodness. Oh, here it is. So if you know me, you know that I like to try new fun lip products. So I have a glitter flip lip product, but I want to find dupes for it. I love finding dupes for stuff. So I found this dupe today. We're going to see how it wears, but I'm going to apply this, and it is cool because it's like a nice nude color. But after it dries, I'm going to press my lips together. And then the cool thing is it has a glitter in it. It has a blue sheen. Okay. I'm definitely not like as good at applying lip products as some people. And then I can hum because that's definitely royalty-free music, right? Oh, and you know what else I forgot to do? Fun story. I do like to contour my nose, but I do the same thing like I do with a lot of other things where it's whatever residual is left over, I'll just kind of throw a little bit on either side. And it's a very natural looking nose contour. It doesn't look crazy. It's just almost like a hint of things. Okay. Now, I'm going to spray with my favorite setting spray. It's very nice. It's a very fine mist and it smells really good. Okay? Don't be afraid of it. All right. So I'm going to let that set, and I can press my lips together. and I have that really cool blue fleck. I don't know if it's picking up on the camera. We'll find out later. But I really love it. I think it looks really good. This is my final look. Subscribe. I probably already said that. But yeah, I really enjoyed sitting here and doing makeup with you guys. I hope that you have a super great evening, afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. But have a great day, and just make sure that you know, no matter what your family history is, there are some environmental factors that also affect your ability to, not your ability, your likelihood of having colorectal cancers. So make sure you pay attention to your diet, limit drinking, don't smoke, and then also when you get to that certain age, you want to go ahead and get regular colonoscopies to make sure everything is going well. That doesn't sound like the greatest thing ever to go through, but I think it's really important, and it's not just important for you, it's important for your family. So just take care of yourself. So one, we can spend more time together, and two, you can enjoy a long, happy life. Have a great one. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.